Yeah, my name is the businessman for a reason. I take everything as a business, you know what I'm saying? That didn't bother me. You know, he brought up my mother as well. That didn't bother me.
Look, he got scared.
I don't know right now, but he's just a very emotional fighter right now. I don't know why he's so emotional. Hey, I hope he do great in his next fight, and hopefully we get a fight.
He gonna pay for it.
I don't really go into spar and feel like I can beat somebody in a real fight. Spar in a fight is different.
Everybody in this room will know how it go.
You know what I'm saying? It don't take for me to spar you for me to believe that. You saying I'm next up? I believe I'm next up. If the people are saying that as well, man, it gotta be the truth.
I guess it'd be good for the sport if we fight.
Whenever he decides to grow some to fight me, that's when it's gonna happen.
As an upcoming superstar, gotta win titles from really serious fighters.
I did $1 million gate. First time I'm fighting in my crib. That didn't come from fighting big names.
I mean, I can't guarantee that Lomachenko will be available. Doctor is evaluating his back and so forth.
I broke my back. Spinal.
As far as Tank Davis is concerned, but I don't know if Tank Davis is up to fighting a Keyshawn Davis.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I had already made a promise to Al, like, we out of it type of thing. I could stick around and just, I will help people and guide people, but as far as like me competing, I don't really want to do it.
The boxing world reacts to Keyshawn Davis versus Tank Davis, fight rumors, but what about Shakur? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Colonel Red. But let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So there is a dynamic going on at the moment. There's a possible fight that could happen between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. There's a possible fight that could happen between Tank Davis and Keyshawn Davis. I just want to break down what's going on. Give my 5,000 nickels for anybody a lift.
I told y'all. I just saw it. This boy got talent, man.
All right, y'all. So Tank Davis, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevens. What's really going on?
I don't know what light skin gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
So there's a dynamic going on right now. Keyshawn Davis is the number 2, I think, in the WBO, and he'll be fighting for a title, I believe, tomorrow against Berinchyk. I'm probably not saying his name right, but is what it is. He's probably going to be champion over there, most likely, if he can get past Berinchyk. And then you got Shakur Stevens, I believe, in the WBC. Then you got Tank Davis, who is the, I believe, WBA champion, the regular champion or something like that. There's so many belts, it's hard to keep up with all this stuff. So you got all 3 of these guys who are seemingly about to cross paths because they're all going to be champions. And some people are saying this is the reason that Gervonta Tank Davis wants to retire, is because he knows he's going to end up having to fight either one or both of these guys.
After next year, I'm out of it.
You know, I think that's crazy. I think that's a slightly true statement. But I think that there's a dynamic in there that people are missing. And I'm going to drag Earl Spence into this just because I can.
We get 3% to these organizations. I mean, we got to know where this money going to. Man, you got Canelo and Joshua and all these guys, you know, making $50 million. And these belts are getting 3% of it. Where's it going to?
There's a dynamic going on with those title belts. And the reason why people actually don't want to fight for those title belts. And to me, the problem is, if you win all the title belts, you have to deal with the sanctioning fees from the sanctioning body. And to be honest with you, I actually am starting to think that Earl Spence maybe didn't throw the Terrence Crawford fight, but he threw the Terrence Crawford fight because he didn't want to carry those belts any longer. And if he just dropped the titles and moved on, fans wouldn't have never let him live it down. And I kind of think that's why he hasn't come back to the sport just yet, is because he's kind of embarrassed for having to go through that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
When it comes to, you know, Shakur and Tank and Keyshawn, I think the problem is Gervonta don't want to be undisputed, because I think Al Heyman and them, they explained what just happened with Earl Spence and the sanctioning bodies and them trying to take all, you know, a big portion of his purses and all this. And I think he saw that play out and he just doesn't want any parts of it. I might be completely wrong about the Earl Spence scenario, but I think I'm right. And I think that this is the reason that these guys are more than likely not going to all fight. I can see Tank maybe fighting one of them and unifying titles, because that's what you hear everybody saying now. I want to be unified or linear, which means I don't have to pay 4 different sanctioning fees. So at the end of the day, I think everybody wants these 3 guys to fight. And I think it would be interesting if these guys came up with a scenario to where they don't actually have to fight for the titles.
God, if you listen, hell!
Now, I think if the titles were not involved, and this is strange that you even have to say it like this, because boxing has always been the guy who holds the titles is the king. But now it's the guy who makes all the money and gets all the views is the king.
So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. Give me 2 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there. Y'all got the money. Somebody can't just come up in the game and just throw money and not know the sport.
And the titles are kind of like a secondary trinket. So if these guys could put something together, or their promoters could put something together where we just leave the titles out of the scenario, then I think all 3 of these guys would be willing to come to the table, including Gervonta Davis. And you got a recipe for some really good fights. Now, at the end of the day, if that scenario doesn't play out, I think that there's a possibility that Tank fights either Keyshawn or Shakur before he retires. And to be honest with you, I would much rather see him fight Shakur. I don't think Keyshawn is really there yet. He might be talented and have power and all. Man got 10 pro fights, y'all. 10 years ago, you couldn't be taken seriously as a fighter until you got to about 25 fights, 30 fights. Nobody was even going to take you seriously unless you were knocking everybody out cold like Gervonta Davis. So, to me, Keyshawn Davis is simply a boxing prospect, and he's got a lot more to prove. Even if he beats Berinchyk, I don't think that that's enough. I want to see him really against a Loma. I want to see him against, somebody else and make those steps up to a Gervonta Davis fight. Because I think that Shakur is more seasoned. I think that Shakur has better competition level. I think Shakur is going to draw in a bigger crowd. And I ultimately think that that's going to be the fight that happens. I kind of see Gervonta beating Lamont Roach, them putting together a Vasyl Lomachenko fight, perhaps for the end of the summer, and then him fighting Shakur to end his career off.
I would love to fight light skin. I don't care if you get in the ring or not. Businessman is making his own lane for the businessman.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. You want to collab, feature a product, your channel, on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail. Yes, I did make this shirt. If you need one, holler at your boy, hit my Gmail, because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are out of here.
you.